Chula, can you hear me? Ah, okay, so the quality is now fixed up, you think? There's no lags or anything? Ah, okay, so no lags, and you can see the picture and tell me what you see, and if the voice's quality is good, and oh, good, 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 good. Okay, sounds like I did learn a thing or two. I see a little bit of a circle, halo circle going on here once in a while. I wonder if that also represents a lag at your end, or is it just it's figuring it out for itself. All right, all right. Okay, good. So we look forward for the others to join us, and then we'll just have a chat as we plan to do. And I guess I wouldn't be listening to anyone who's got a little YouTube tutorial, as not necessarily is going to help me. But the last one that I just been watching and fixing, tweaking my my OBS thingy, was pretty informative and it made sense. So I made the changes according to that, and it looks like maybe we even have a better one than the last one. As soon as I wanted to type perfect no lag, it lags low. Excalibur, I understand, but I think it will be okay. I think it will be perfectly recording. If when it's uploaded there will be no lag, and now I think it will eventually be a little bit better once I clean up the memory of the computer a little bit more next time. But let me know while we are having our conversation how the quality is, so it will help me to know how things are. Okay, good, good. That is much better than earlier. That's good. As long as you don't end up pulling all your hair, that would be acceptable, I guess. So, again, thank you for your patience, guys, and thank you for sticking around to help me out with the setup of this thing, because it's actually something new. They've got so many different setups and tweaking and all that on the OBS system, and I've used the simplest version, and I still would like to try to see if we can live stream with video capture, but I'll try that some other time. At this point, I think as long as you guys can hear me, that's acceptable to me, and we can go on from here. So hopefully the others who have been looking forward to for us to come back would join us soon, and we will have a full plate, at least you know, enough people to have enough questions for a meaningful conversation. So if you have something to say for as far as you're concerned, go ahead, and the ones who join us later on will also let us know when they join us. All right, looks like we are okay as far as I'm concerned here. Aha, so now let's see. Chula says, question, how can you do no contact radio silence with your ex if they have a child together? Well, why should you do no contact? when you have a child, there is no such thing as no contact. No contact would modify itself to anything to do with you and her. But either one of you would be fully authorized to contact the other one if it's something regarding the well-being of the child. So don't forget, there's two different things here. There's one between you and your girlfriend or your wife. That's a different relationship that has broken up. But the other one is the relationship between both of you and your child as a parent. That has not broken up. Don't make it look like that it is. That child deserves love and affection, and to know the psychological security that can be provided to him or her by the parents, knowing that they're around for him, and at the same time in front of the child must be very cordial, respectful, and warm and polite and kind to each other, so the child will not think that he can play one against the other, and also start thinking that he's not secure because there's not a good relationship between the parents. This is a very important part of this whole breakups if there's child involved. If you have a child and if you have gotten divorced, there are two videos that I have made at the very beginning of this channel a few years back, and it will, I think, something to do with the protocol between you and your ex when you're divorced, or something to do with divorce, or how to interact with children after divorce, or how to interact with each other after divorce, something like that. It's the first two videos, pretty much first two videos I ever made, and they're pretty informative and very positive and very insightful. I think anyone who's gone through any divorce with the child involved would like to take a look at those videos, which will be far more effective as the little that I say right here. So we have Marielos. Hello, dear. Again, please, guys, let me know how old you are, where you're tuning in, and if you're a lady or man, so at least I have an idea when I talk to you who I'm talking to and how to form the words to be, making sense and also appropriate to your age and to your gender and everything else. Marielos says, finally a live session I can join. Good. Question 2. So before you guys can get any question in, remember, throw me in a comment about the quality of the voice, how you hear it, if the picture is okay, and if there's a lag or not, or how much, or if it's tolerable or intolerable. So at least I get a little feedback of the tweaks that I've done on the OBS, and it will help me to know how things are from your end. So you're welcome, Chula. Olga says, oh, my question is too long for this chat. Okay. Then Olga, you can go to my site, mindthat6truth.com, and just book a Skype consultation one-on-one according to your budget, or the package is available there, and then we'll have a one-on-one chat on Skype according to what your needs would be. Let's see what else we have here. El Haj says, I'm a guy from US, 23 years old. Thank you. How to forgive a narcissist after you find out their only intention was to destroy you, and to forgive yourself. Their energy is hard to get rid of. Love your videos. El Haj, remember one thing before you go forward in such thinkings. Nobody can destroy you. It is only your perception of what they have said and how you've been conditioned to think how important things are, or such things are, that would make you occupied in your own brain, and you start thinking that something drastic has happened. Well, if your girlfriend has been a narcissist, well, there's no reflection on you. There's nothing wrong with you. There's no guilt for you. There's nothing wrong you did. It's a shortcoming of hers, if immaturity and sickness of hers, if lack of ability to be properly socialized and interact with her partner, her boyfriend, and it has nothing to do with you. It's a reflection of her, on her, not you, on her quality, on her brain, on her balance. So stop beating yourself just because you've been a victim of following someone. Well, it's, of course, I understand you may feel guilty about yourself because you've been following somebody just because she's got a pair of legs or, you know, a nice body or whatever it is that you were falling for it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be following her for a second, regardless of narcissist or not. But especially if they're pretty or, you know, presentable or sexy or whatever it is to your taste, then, and if they're narcissists, then you would have a hard time to let go, because the desire and the desire for the pleasure of intimacy that you receive from her, which is in your genes and your program for procreation, and you're following what your programming in your genes are, is that will make it for you difficult to move on and protect yourself, and you'll hang around. So you should forgive yourself that you were naive to allow your desire take over your good judgment and keep you entrapped in that bullshit. Because after all, if you understand your own psyche, how your psyche is put together, how your conditioning, how the content of your consciousness is put together, what makes you, your center, how you function, including the effects of your fears, desire, and ego with your thoughts and consciousness connections, if you understand all that, therefore you will understand all this in her. And then you'd be able to recognize that she is just another physical being, and you're following a physical being for the purpose of your pleasure, intimacy, which is your program to follow, but yet that is not really a person to be with, because you are following her not because she's so great or compatible, because you're programmed to seek intimacy and sex and be looking for a companion. And that should give you alertness that what you're following is your desire, not a compatible person to be with. She's not qualified to be with, but you think she's qualified because you think what you desire, she's in control of it, she has it, she has it with, and you want to get it from her, so therefore you negotiate with her and you think that she's qualified, and yet it is your desire that has made her seem qualified. But on consciousness level, she's nothing near qualified. She's probably a nincompoop, and you can't even stand her. So there's a difference between here, if the person is qualified, or your desires for intimacy and sex and following the program of procreation that it's in your gene. There's a difference between that makes you follow someone's physical presence than the person being completely compatible with you. If you understand that, you will not get fooled by that, which is very difficult, I understand, especially when you're young, as you are, 23 years old, in ages between 17, 18 to 45 and 50, you're all in danger of not noticing what you're following and infatuated with and love, you think you love and you go for, is not necessarily because she's perfectly sound and balanced, and you're following a connection between your consciousnesses and you have figured all the angles and you're compatible and in harmony. Instead, you're always following your desire. If you're not smart enough or alert enough, and you think you're not, you think she's so wonderful, but the reason she seems wonderful because you have the ability to desire, and this desire of yours makes you think the person that you desire is qualified. She's qualified because you desire. The importance of people and things in life is equal to the level of your need. In other words, they're important because of the level of your need for them. If you have need for intimacy, then she becomes very important. If you don't have the need for it, if you don't like the way that she looks, then she has no importance for you because she doesn't have that power. The power that people may have, it depends on what is in it for you as far as what you gain from it. So if you understand that, then you will be quite clever in figuring out, am I really liking this woman? Or is it her body and her legs and everything else that I'm programmed to love, to like, to lust for, makes me follow her, want her? Or is it actually her person, her entirety, her center, her consciousness, her values, her manners, her loyalty, her friendship, her companionship, her team, everything else that one expects a relationship to be all about? Is it really that? Or is it me that is giving her that echelon of perfection because of my desire for pleasure, which she's in control of? As I mentioned, some other ones, you know, you're in the line of an ice cream shop to buy ice cream. Everybody's in line. And the closer you get, the more important you think the ice cream man is, or the ice cream lady is who's serving the ice cream. It's not because the ice cream man is like Mother Teresa, so much compassion for humanity and loves to be helpful and wise and, you know, careful and providing help and security and well-being for everybody, wishing everybody well, that you think that person is important. No, you think that person is important because he's in control of the thing that you want, the ice cream. And in relationships, now talking from boys' point of view, men's point of view, a man who likes a woman gotta make sure that, am I really liking the entirety of the woman? Or do I really want her and think I love her and she's that important because she's in control of what I want, which is the pleasure of getting to know her and being with her and experiencing that relationship and intimacy and the rest of it. If you can understand that, then you will understand that people are not necessarily important because of themselves. They're often important just because you make them important because of the need you have from what they can offer or what they are controlling. So that can give you some little bit of an insight about why is it that you want to forgive yourself, or you know, it's hard to get rid of that narcissist feeling and so on and so forth. It's not hard once you recognize what I just said. But if you only focus on your desires and urges and emotions because of the programming that you have about wanting a woman, then you will think it's very hard to get rid of it. And you think she's so fantastic and that's why you can't get rid of it. No. Once you understand this, it'll be easy to set sail and see what else is out there in the ocean of life. I hope that is something for you to identify with and enjoy. Again, I want comments, guys, that the quality is good or not. So let's see if I have comments. I've been talking, didn't even look at the comments here. Chula says thank you. Marielos says beautiful lady. Beautiful lady, 32, Guatemala. Okay, that's what I love to hear. Confidence all over. Marielos, A+ for you. 32 years old, from Guatemala, and beautiful. There you go. Now, Olga says, I'm almost 28 years old, from Moscow. Kakovastila, Меня зовут Mehran. Очень приятно. Rad s vami poznakomitsai. That's as much as I go. I feel like I'm stuck in life, she says, because I don't have a job, and more importantly, I don't know what I want to do and whom I want to be with. Little bit crazy for this age. No, it's a little bit normal for this age, because that's the age that you have become wise enough and you're worried about these things. You're concerned about these things. You want to make your life better. You have done your bullshit and whatever it was that you were growing up and wasted your time, or did whatever you had to do and, you know, negotiated life as it came to you. Now you're mature and you are wondering where to go next. And you're looking for an outlet. You're looking for a lift that you can hang on to, and it'll pull you to the top of the mountain. My suggestion is, don't look for a lift. Become the lift. Spend your time to learn some profession that you enjoy. Whenever, whatever that is up to you to find out. But once you found out what it is, go for it. Something that you like to do. Because if you like to do something, the money will be okay or tolerable, or will come because you'll be good at it, because you like to do it. And once you figure that out, make something out of yourself. Become good at it. Provide for yourself financially. Then you will not choose a partner, you will not choose a man based on what he can do for you, or he can provide for you, help you with survival, or food, or shelter, or clothing. You will choose them based on their consciousness and their worthiness and compatibility to you, not based on your need for what they can do for you. So do not get into a relationship because of what they can do for you. Do whatever it's necessary for yourself, by yourself. Provide all that necessities that you want for survival in life by yourself. Then you go and see who qualifies to come and share your success, rather than who is out there that allows me or lets me share, the success that they have. You need to be independent first. Bring the happiness that you deserve by yourself to your life first. Then look for a relationship. Do not think that relationship is where you should be going in order to find your happiness by somebody else's coming to your life and bringing that happiness to you. Your happiness is based on your efforts, and you're the master of it. Once you do that, then you're independent, and you will not be in control of that boyfriend that you find, or that husband that you find, just because they give you some things that you couldn't give yourself. That's the way a woman can be independent, and a better chance to have a better relationship, because then the guy knows that he can't manipulate you, he can't control you because he gets little money or pays for some things here and there. He will know that he should behave and be at his best behavior in order to have more compatibility, and you will choose them based on compatibility and not your need. I hope that would be something helpful to you, Olga. Excalibur says, 5 minutes and counting, and our prayers are with you. Prayers were answered, man. Okay, good. I'm glad that it's working. Good quality here. Chula says, okay, great. Al Pacino says, you're out of order. You're out of order. The whole thing is out of order. If you guys remember the Dog Day Afternoon, the movie, Al Pacino played in it. Now, let's see. We have... Olga says, very hard to cut it short. Very hard to cut. What short, dear? My question is how to know what you really want in life. Aha, okay. Let's see what else we have here. Yes, very good. Duan says, okay, that means looks like all the keys were right keys that I pushed. Very good audio. Okay, great, Robert. That's good news. Olga, you know Russian, asks me. No. Я немного говорю по-русски. It just means I speak a little Russian, and I learned that in the internet. I had some interest to learn, so I did as much as I could, but I haven't spoken it as much as I tried exercising on internet before, so it's been a while. So whatever I know is just whatever left in my my memory about it. So Chula says, what do you think of rebound relationship? Will they last? Well, do you think a rebound of anything lasts? Because rebound has no plan of where to bound into. It's just rebounding from something that has no direction of where to go. So you happen to catch the ball in the air. It wasn't meant for you. It just was there. And you happen to be there randomly, and you caught the rebound. So you can't be sure of her to be the right girl that's looking for you, or you actually wanting to be with that girl because it just so happened you were vulnerable and you felt down and your standards came down and you just accepted something that you never know may or may not be at your standards and your expectations, but you accepted her because that's what your level of mood and level of understanding or expectation was. Because of the previous experiences, you were not your very self. You know, it's like when you are not in a mood and you're not so happy, you say, I don't give a shit, I wear whatever it's there, my jumpsuit or whatever it is, my, you know, warm-up suit or just regular shoes or regular shirt and pants, and go out to do your shopping. Or when you're really in a good mood, you choose what you want to wear according to what you feel you deserve to have that image or presentation of yourselves when you go out there. What your manners, what your level of comfort of what you wear is. So you pay attention to your expectations. But when you are in a rebound, you don't pay attention to your expectations. You just say whatever. And that's why rebound is hard to know. It may work, may not, but I don't know. But you could be lucky, find a real nice girl. But why would why would doing it that way? Just get yourself out of the bad mood and clean yourself up mentally, do some exercises and feel confident, and then go out and be on the same level as your possible girlfriend or new friend would be. So Excalibur says 15 minutes with minimal cuts. Okay, that's good. Treasure these settings, Mehran. Write them on a post-it note and put it on the fridge. Haha. Well, it's already registered on the system, so it will be just like that unless I touch it again. So it's not like I have to do it every day, every time. It's now set. That's how it's going to be. And I think it will be good because I really understood, and this person who had the tutorial, it made sense. And I watched a few tutorials, and so a combination fixed it up. And I also noticed some little things here and there that needed to be tweeted and adjusted. And so it's all good. Looks like it's all good. And maybe one day I will try to put a live stream on the screen capture. But I guess this is good enough. Nobody needs to see my face as long as we can have a good chat on the voice, and that's good enough. But I would look forward one day to have an opportunity to also hear your questions by voice. It'll be more efficient maybe. So now let's see what we have here next. Olga says, I meant whom I want to be in life, not whom I want to be with. Okay, well, when you put the question in such a urgent and depressing way that I'm 28 years old, I don't know where I want to go, I don't know what to, so I thought you're probably hoping to hear all angles of your question. So let's see. So who you want to be. Olga, how can I help you to tell you who you want to be? That is something so personal about yourself. you need to figure out what it is that you love to do, and is it something that you want to help people with and gain monetary financial rewards from it, or is it something you just want to do and make money regardless if you like it or not, or if it's something that it would help you feel good about yourself while you're doing it and make money from it. These are things that you want to consider before you stumble on trying to train yourself. And Olga says, sorry for so many comments. No, don't be sorry. This is what this is here. You give the comments, and if they're related to what we're talking about, of course I read it and I respond to it. And if I've covered it, I won't. Or if it's just something that doesn't relate to what we're talking about, I'll just ignore it. So Marielos, as she put it, the beautiful Guatemalan, I believe that's what she said. Yes, 32 Guatemala, yeah, Guatemala. She says, and I lost her now. She says, great sound, Mehran. Is hard for me to forgive and forget. Any advice? Why is it hard for you to forgive and forget? First of all, you don't have to forgive. You can just forget. If you think forgive and forget comes together, it doesn't have to. You can still say, I don't forgive that shit, but I would like to forget because it doesn't worth my time, and I want to be bound for better and bigger things. I want to enjoy my life. So therefore, I forget, but I will remember, and I don't forgive. Why should you forgive? What for? Just forget. But remember, so you'll be alert for next time the snake comes near you. You say, that's a snake. I don't want to be around it. But if you forget and forgive, then God help you. You will fall in the same hole all the time. So Chula says, thank you, you're welcome. And Chula says, why do we want an ex back knowing they lie and cheat on us? Why do we think things will be different? Because human being always hopes for something better, advancement, corrections. And especially when you have had some feeling with someone in a relationship, you're hoping for that feeling to stay because you have built some memories about that relationship, and those memories create a certain kind of a safe place for you to roam around. That's why you constantly go into your memory, and the memory is called the field of the known. That's where everything is known because everything is past. It's been done. It's dead. You already know about them, how they went. Therefore, it's called the field of the known. And in the field of the known, everything is known. Therefore, there is no surprises. Therefore, you will feel safe. It's like a house that you enter. You've been there many times. You know what is in which room, and you are expecting no surprises. And you've already checked it out with your friends. You know the house is clean and safe, and nobody is there. But if you enter into a new house where you don't know, have never been there, and there's so many rooms, you don't feel that comfortable because you don't have enough energy left in there previously through negotiating in that house, and you don't know what to expect. There's so many things that could pop up from any room, so it doesn't give you that feeling of security. But when you go into your memory about your past relationships, again, you're in the field of the known, no surprises, you know everything that happened, and everything is dead. Nothing new will jump at you. You will just enjoy being in there. That's why you end up taking refuge in your memory often, and you feel low mood. You don't want to come out. You don't want to go out and explore because you want to have that psychological security. And you think about your ex, and you only remember the good stuff when you think about your ex, because the desire for intimacy and all the good stuff is what comes to your mind first and foremost. Human being usually remembers the good stuff, not so easily the bad stuff. And so when you think about the ex, the whole story of your intimacy and desire and good feelings at good times will come to your mind, and you think everything about it was good. Therefore, you desire that person back. But you have not updated the file. You have not updated his character or her character. You have not updated the fact that that person is not the same person that it used to be. And now that person has different behavior, different mentality, and different outlook of life, and different behavior with you. Yet when you think of that person, you go into your memory, and in your memory is the old file of how that person used to be when you guys were together or when you met that girl, and therefore everything seems to be as good as it was, and you think this person now is the same person that you have in your memory, while all along this person is no longer the person that you have in your memory. He has changed, and you haven't updated the file in your memory, and you should. You should bring about new files in your memory that this person that you used to have, that kind of stories and memory and pictorials in your memory should be updated to what that person is now. And then when you think of that person, your ex, you will remember her as she is now. And when you do that, then you say, oh, I don't like that one. But if you constantly think of that person as that person was, as your girlfriend was, then you'll never see her who she is today, which she's changed, behaviors changed, manners and treating you, and all that is changed. So therefore, then you wouldn't want her back. But the reason you keep thinking is hard and you want her back, or you think you love her, because you only think of her as it used to be when you two were lovey-doveys. Now, let's see what else we have here. Okay, so now Olga says, one of my comments lost in chat, that's why I was misunderstanding. Okay, I'm not sure what does that mean at the moment, Olga, but I want to tell you that this video will be uploaded as it's finished, so you can check it out and see if I've answered that question, that whatever it was that you're referring to. Now, Excalibur says, okay, excellent. Oh, hang on, guys. Let me put just one moment. Okay, good. I had to connect the power as the battery was low, so here it is. Good. So as I was reading, Excalibur says, okay, excellent. Yesterday's live stream is still not uploaded. Yes, because yesterday's live stream, it was so many different times we tried, it was so terrible that the one that went okay, I will upload it tonight. But I thought I'm making this for now anyhow. So the ones that we tried and we couldn't get anything done in it, I won't upload those. I'll just delete them. But the one that actually we had something going, because I don't want people get tired by just keep listening to bit rates and this and that we are trying to fix. But I guess maybe I'll upload that, because we did have a few questions that were just worthy of leaving it in there for people who want to listen to it and use it. So let's see. It had valuable questions and answers. Yes, I will take care of it, Excalibur. I will upload it, and hopefully in the future, if there would be time, I will cut them, trim them as question and answer, as I've done other live talks, and then it will be a question by themselves, a video on that question alone. But in the meantime, since now we have upped the live streamings every day or every few days, so I may just leave the live streams as they are, because it'll be too much time consuming to trim every question to one video, as I always did. The more live streaming we do, the more work it creates for me, and there's not much time really to do that, unless I end up being able to dedicate more time to this. Which again, as you all know, it has a lot to do with the number of people who will join the YouTube. The subscriber number goes up, and therefore there will be enough viewers, and you know, they would get to know about the site and the books and the consultations, and the more they use the services of the site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and buy the books. And of course, you all know that the books are expensive. They're like $100 each, almost. Mindthatseekstruth.com has 3 books in it: Me, My Psyche, and I, and Transient Thoughts and Me, and the Breakup Pain Handbook. These are heavy books, each 200, 360, and 600 pages, and shipping around the world is very hefty and expensive, so the prices are expensive. However, as you all know, I have turned all the books into ebooks, and the ebooks are being sold on Amazon anywhere from $19 to $36. But the same ebooks are sold on my own site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Prices are $4.99, $5.99, and $6.99, which Purposely, I brought them to that level so everybody from every country and any currency, they can afford buying it, because my purpose is really with selling these ebooks, there's no economic agenda there, because there is no money in it. It's not, after PayPal takes their cut and the marketing costs and side costs, there is really no economic agenda. However, I want everybody to have them because they're good books, lots of information in them, and I want you guys to learn about your own psyche and how it works, consciousness, thoughts, ego, desire, all that. Then you will be able to help yourself as you know how you're put together and what it is that makes you feel, act, and react the way you do. And you have remedies for it by understanding it perfectly. So that's why those books are the price of a cup of coffees or teas. And I hope that every one of you would acquire one of these books, especially Me, My Psyche, and I. And if you have thoughts that come to your mind that you are not responsible for, you don't know why they showed up, what are these thoughts, what do they mean, do they represent me, or what do they have to do with me, how do I handle them, how do I manage them, what to do with them, that's the book that you want to read, is Transient Thoughts and Me. And these are all very nominal prices. Please go ahead and acquire one and have it on your library for your referrals and for your reference. And having said all that, now we come back to what we are trying to do here, which Olga says, I got that one, Excalibur says that one, and Mariola says, I am so hard on myself. Marielos says, I'm so hard on myself as well. If I made a mistake, I keep punishing myself. Why? 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 What's perfect in this world that you expect perfection from yourself? The whole world was born out of chaos. If you go back in the day one of the creation of this world, of this Earth, of this planet, or of this universe, however it was, whatever it is, you will see the scientists have proven that actually the whole thing was made out of chaos. So when the whole thing is out of chaos, now everyone in this relative world, which is not an absolute universe, but it's a relative universe, a relative world, you expect to be a perfect person and do everything perfectly. We do our best to do whatever it is that we're supposed to do as best as we can. That's granted, and that's good behavior, and that's good habit, and that's expected. However, if you did try your best, prepared the best, learned the best, and then tried it your best, and intention was best, it didn't turn out like as best as you wanted it, why do you punish yourself? The most important thing is that you intended to do good, to do your best, and you tried. And that's good enough. Don't pretend that you're a saint or you're some kind of a god or the whole essence of life, and then you want to expect everything to be perfect. Oh, what's perfect? Look around you. What's perfect? Nobody's perfect. Nothing is perfect. We're all striving to be better. And so whenever you do something, you're striving to do a great job and be better. And that's the perfection that you're seeking. That is perfection. To do things. And the fact that you do things and do your best and still they are not as best as you expected, that's the perfection. Because there is no such perfection. Something that may look perfect today, with the technology and advancement that comes tomorrow, is no longer perfect in that quality in the future. So what are you trying to prove here? You just do your best, and for that moment that you were doing what you were doing, that was perfect. Later on, in hindsight, you have more information and more chances and opportunities, and you look back and say, oh, I didn't do that perfect. Well, you didn't do that perfect. Now you see it that way. But when you were doing it, you were doing your best, and you were trying to do the most perfect that you could. And that's all it's important. In university, I had a professor, a favorite class of mine, behavior and organization, Dr. Ferris, Professor Ferris. He at one time said, whenever one does something, at the time that one decides to do something, he believes or she believes that what he is doing is the right thing to do. Now, later on, new information may come up and he may decide, oh, that was not the right thing to do. But at the time that you were doing something, it was the right thing to do with the amount of information, expertise, and experience that you had. So therefore, when you're about to do something, when you decide to do something, you believe that that is the right thing to do. Because if you didn't believe it's the right thing to do, you wouldn't do it. Well, I'm not talking about the crazy people who are, harming other people in one way or another. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about decent, normal people who are having right mind and positive mind. At the time they decide to do something, they believe that is the right thing to do. And that means perfection. When later on they look and see with the new information abilities that that was not, well, that's a different time and different way of looking and different angle to look at things. So therefore, don't blame yourself. Whatever you do, as long as you're doing your best, that is the perfection. Now, whether it turns out to be still perfect later on, that's a different story, and that's irrelevant. Now, Robert says, the purpose of life is to discover your gift. The work of life is, oh, I see, you're answering her. Okay. You can always go on my YouTube channel, Olga, and also key in success in life, success and happiness, or purpose of life, what is your calling, or something like that. And a video or a bunch of video will show up, and you can look at them. That could be of some help to you. Robert says, Mehran's answer reminded me of this quote. Oh, okay, which quote? Which quote? Maybe the one up there was the quote. The purpose of life is to discover your gift. The work of life is to look at many of place to give. It's good quote. Good quote. Chula says, you're the man. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. And Chula says here again, where's Chula? I lost Chula. Chula says, people who lie and cheat in a relationship, do they love themselves? Yeah, well, obviously they love themselves anyhow. I don't know if they love themselves, but they are selfish, or or they're, I don't know if it's just selfish. Could be selfish, could be low quality, could be assholes, could be good people, but they just can't stop having sex with some other people. I don't know. But I wonder if they love themselves or not. But who cares? What's important is that you should focus on what you're doing is right or wrong, and if it only benefits you, or also having your loved ones benefit in mind as well while you engage and commit yourself to something. Princess, hi sir, would you know to what extent something right could become something wrong? I know a person who makes right judgments, but she does it to the extent that it would hurt other people. Well, it depends on your definition of what is right. What is right is not only if it's right for you, because if that's the case, a robber thinks, oh, it's right for him to go rob a bank, but it's not for the rest of the people and the bank. He goes rob a store. It's, of course, he feels it's right for him because that's what his needs are. He somehow convinced himself, and he thinks it's right. If he didn't think it's right, he wouldn't do it. Now, the fact that he's wrong, according to the laws of the civilized world, that's beside the point. We know he's wrong, but he obviously thinks he's right. But what he thinks he's right in is not necessarily right for the storekeeper or people who what he's taken is it belongs to. So you can't. That question really is flawed to begin with, because what is right is in which definition. We each are not living alone in an island to say what is right only concerns me as long as it's right for me. Therefore, the definition of right is observed here. But when we are living in a society with so many people around and so many laws that has been put together in order to protect everybody and everybody's well-being, then you can't just think because if something is benefiting you, then it's also right for you. There are things that could be benefiting you and also not harming others, or also benefiting others. Well, that's fine. But it's not always the case. There are many cases that something could be right for you, but not right for the society and not right for the others. Well, that then is not right. Doesn't matter if you think it's right for you. It's not right. In a society, then you live in a civilized world with a bunch of other people. Right means if it affects the society, how does it affect the society? Does it affect the society positively or negatively? And the right has a lot to do with the answer to that question. So, there are things that is very personal and does not affect others, then I should only be focused on what is right. Is it right for me or not? But if what I would accept to be right for me is going to be harmful to the others, then it should not be right for me either. It should not be considered right for me. That thing is not right. But if depends on, should I have rice or should I have vegetable? Whatever I decide has got nothing to do with anybody else, doesn't harm anybody else or anything else. Well, then I can say, well, it's right for me to have vegetables, or right for me to have rice, or right for me to have meat, or whatever it is. But if it's something that could affect anybody else or anything else out there, then I don't know if it's right, if I just consider myself in that equation. And let's see if we have. So Duan says, I plan to buy all of them for sure. Well, okay, good show, Dwayne, I guess, not Duan, Dwayne, I believe that's Dwayne. Remember, guys, I asked you, please let me know where you're tuning in, how old you are, and your gender. So at least I would be able to have this connection of who I'm talking and make sure I taper the respond toward your age and a good delivery and the communication and towards your gender and the rest of it. Excalibur says, okay, now that the stream is nearly perfect, I have a question. Okay, I always feel like I feel kind of bad when being served by older people. For example, if I'm in a gas station and the employee is kind enough to check my tires, I can't help but feel like he's feeling inferior that he is serving a much younger person, and it makes me feel bad for them. I'm not sure if that's a healthy way of seeing things. I can understand what you're saying very clearly. You're a compassionate person, and at the same time you care for other people and their well-being, and you wish well for everybody. These are all fine qualities. But that doesn't mean that you should focus just because somebody is doing something that you wouldn't have to do. It means that person is feeling he's inferior in his mind. He may or he may not. But what's important is as long as you don't feel that he's inferior to you. It doesn't matter what he thinks, you have no control on that. But you have control on what you feel about him and how you extend your energy and respect that person who is doing something that you wouldn't have to do. Whether it's in a restaurant bringing your food, or whether it's a gas station checking the tires of your car. Still, if you pay respect and be polite and kind to people who are having something to do with your comfort in this life, that's good enough. Because at the same time, remember, you're doing things that some other people are not doing, and they wouldn't want to do, and they don't have to do. Depends on what it is that we do. We all do take service, and we also give service. The kind of job that you have could involve certain things that when a customer comes and you do that for them, but it's a mechanical service or advice or whatever it is, you are providing for them, which could be less than the kind of job that they are occupied with on a daily basis. So do you feel you're less than them? No, you're focused on doing your job right because you are qualified for what you do and you're focused on that. If you go to a surgeon, do you feel inferior to him? Well, it has nothing to do with you. He's expert in what he does, hopefully, and you're expert in what you do, whether you fix cars or you plow fields. That is your expertise that the surgeon has nothing to do with it and has no knowledge of. So in your field, you're expert, and in their field, he's expert. The guy who checks the tire of your car, he's an expert in that. You don't know as much as he may know about that. And therefore, there's no reason for you to think that he feels inferior to you. He may actually feel, hey, I know about his car, this car doesn't. So he may feel that you're inferior to him. So stop being like that. It's a bit too much. Just be respectful and kind to everybody that you deal with, as long as they are also reciprocating and are being respectful and kind to you. Now, we have Chula says, thank you, Mr. Mehran. Your videos help me a lot. Thank you very much. You're quite welcome, Chula. Prince says, the person I'm referring to was hurt by so many people, and other people do agree with her that it's the fault of the other party. So it doesn't matter really, Prince. What is important is the person himself or herself can be the judge of what she has experienced and makes a proper judgment on that behavior of the others towards her. Prince continues, but the thing is, she would do whatever it takes to keep insulting the person who hurt her non-stop, to the point it affects me and other people due to excessive anger being expressed. Yes, of course, if you're around someone who's constantly angry about something that has already been addressed and remedied and constantly expresses that energy, it affects you too. So you may be friendly in a friendly way, says, listen, you know, you've already dealt with it, you've already said all the shit you wanted to say, and we all agree with you, and you're right, but then, come on, let's not bother ourselves, and let's generate good energy, otherwise, because all it does is really bringing bad energy to ourselves, because that person is not even here to hear all these things. You're just saying it, which creates a turmoil in yourself and creates bad emotion for you and also the people around you who actually are good to you and they're friends with you. So let's focus on what we can do in a positive way in our life and enjoy our life, and don't let that whatever it was constantly ruin your day by constantly remembering, expressing all those negative emotions over and over and over again. So, Chula says 27 years old, male. Okay, thank you, Chula. Excalibur says, great answer as usual. I, however, don't have the same feelings when it's an expert checking my tires. I am referring to employees whose primary job is to fill your tank and and are nice to check your, well, that's fine, Chula, Excalibur, and they're nice to check your tires, and I will definitely buy me my Psyche. And okay. No, well, you see, listen, it's fine to be cordial and considering and appreciate the help and services that people, especially who are obviously not expert in that way, but they're helping you with your needs. But there's no need to, you know, overdo it. There's nothing you can do about it. You're not responsible for what efforts they have made in their life, and you're just responsible to be cordial and kind and polite with them and respect them as a human being. That's all. The rest of it, don't worry about it. They are happy, and that's all that matters. They're doing their best to feed themselves, and that's how it goes. As much as I understand what you're saying, but we cannot overdo it, because then it just stops you from being able to do your best in your day and take care of the ones that you are responsible for and are your loved ones. Marielos, I gotta get your name right. Marielos says, seriously, how do you stop giving a shit? Just stop giving a shit, because it's not important, Marielos. What seems to be important or important person in your mind is due to the cultural trainings and upbringings, the society they live in, and the brainwash and the conditionings that you've received, that you got to respect this, you got to think this way, you got to behave this way, you got to be sad about this happening, you got to be upset about that happening, that is important, this is not important, but they are all bullshit. All it is something, no physical or psychological hurt to you. Just the rest of it doesn't matter who has how much money, who doesn't, who's in what echelon, who is not, because every one of us, every one of them that you think they are all powerful or whatnot, gotta get up in the morning, have their tea and clean their face, you know, do their business in the bathroom, and they're in need of everything else that everybody else in the world is. And they put an image and come out and they feel like they're almighty, but they're nothing, because one wind and one cold can catch them and throw them in bed for next 3 weeks, and they may never even come alive. So nobody is really that humongously important or powerful, or the image that they've created of themselves. I don't care what their business or what their echelon or position in life is. We're still all human beings, so you're not supposed to be conditioned to think that your importance is less than somebody else because that somebody else has a bigger image or has created this sort of image or this kind of a posture or position or whatnot. These are all nonsense. But if you align yourself with truth, align yourself with honesty and good energy, align yourself with having the welfare and well-being of everybody else in this world in mind, every decent person in mind, then you will see that you are no less than anybody else. Therefore, you don't have to pay homage, or you don't have to be humble or inferior towards anybody else at this, with this sort of thinking. Therefore, you don't have to give a shit about whatever else that they do, which seems important to you, but they only seem important to you because you've been conditioned to call it important, to consider it important. But in reality, nothing really has happened to you. Only you're interacting with people not by your center, not by you yourself. You're interacting with people through your image that you have of yourself, with the image that they are extending from themselves or you have of them. There are two images that they're interfering and interacting with each other. Otherwise, you're perfectly safe. Image is a shield. Therefore, that image that you have, let's say you go into a store to buy something, you have an image of a buyer, a shopper. You go to school, sit in a class, you have an image of a student. You go to your mom or dad, you have an image of a child or a daughter or a son. You have children, you have an image of father or mother. These images are constantly changing as you go along during your day. So these images are the ones who actually are interacting with other things that are happening in your day via connection or interaction with other people from their image that is interacting with your image. Otherwise, you are perfectly safe. Nothing happens to you. And that's why you shouldn't give a shit if something that they do is not according to what your expectations, because it's only a reflection on them and not you. If they're rude, it's a reflection on them, not taking any value off of you. If they're stupid, disrespectful, it just means they're assholes. It doesn't mean that you're an asshole or you're lacking any kind of a value or honor or respect. If you understand all these, then you will see these people with their energy and their consciousness, not with what they're wearing or what they're driving or how they look, what their posture is, or whatever else, what they're wearing, whatever else it is. You will see them as their consciousness, and their consciousness is pretty much exactly like any other person in the world, with no difference. They just have a different image, and you have bought into their image. Don't. Don't buy into their image. That means then you will not give a shit because you don't buy into their image. You will know and see exactly what and how and who they are. Now we have, let's see. Excalibur says, yes, that's what I always do. Thank you, Mehran. You're quite welcome. Bahaskar says, 3 out of 7 days a week, I can't work at all. What can I do to stay motivated towards my goals? Well, that's a close-ended question. Bahaskar, because I don't know what has gone into your life and what experiences, what you've gone through and what you've experienced lately or during the past while that makes you not be motivated. Perhaps the reason that you're not motivated is because you really don't like your job and you don't find it fulfilling. Perhaps the line of job is not what you like, or the department of job that you don't like, or that what you're doing that you don't like. Or perhaps you want to help people, or perhaps you want to build something, or perhaps you want to design something, or perhaps you want to cook something, you want to feed people, or whatever else it is that you want to do. You got to find that what you like to do brings motivation. If you don't like to do, believe me, I don't care how much money you make, you eventually will say, oh, hell with it, I don't want to have anything to do with this, because the people involved in this business that I'm in are just simply not the kind of people that I want to be associating with. There are some good, there are some bad, but as a whole, you see the whole business of it, it's taking too much of negotiation and too much of energy out of you. You have to deal with too many inappropriate things or stupid things, or too many ups and downs of the business itself, or the people that are involved in it, all of that, or what you're doing, what you're making, what you're producing, all of that could have a lot to do why you're not motivated. When you find something that you like to do, you'll be motivated. Look at me right here, right now. I am sitting here because I love what I'm doing. I enjoy helping people with what I have studied, learned, experienced, conjured up, thought, brought about, analyzed, explored, discovered. And I know what I'm good at. And if I know that, I have confidence about it. And I want to help people. And when I do help them, and they come back and tell me they wanted to kill themselves, but now seeing my videos, talking to me, they feel great, they feel alive, they feel free, their mindset is changed, they go on, they have hopes. All of that is what makes it all worthwhile for me. And I'm sitting here at about 7 o'clock at night, 6:30 at night. I don't have to do this. I have my books, I have my site, I have my consultations around the world. And I can go to the gym right now, enjoy my exercise, which of course I will go in a few hours anyhow. But when you love what you do, when you feel it's a worthy cause, when you feel that you're helping others who are like you in this world that often is chaotic and bamboozles you, distracts you from the actual worthiness of the life itself, and takes your mind away from the beautiful gift that we all have received to be alive in this world, and makes us focus on the garbage and the bullshit that we human beings have turned this life into. Well, when I can see I can help someone to actually realize this and become happier and in healthier mood and go about exploring and go on advancing, well, that is something that I love to do. Now, when I turn it into business, what I love to do, and generate the finances that is necessary to remember the economics of life, and that will encourage me and help me to do more of what I love to do, which would be benefiting others as well. And then it's a very balanced life, because you're doing what you love and you're also meeting your expectations and the necessities of life for you to also be able to do the same thing again and continuously. So if you find something that you like to do, you will always be motivated, even 7 o'clock at night, which is time for you to unwind and maybe watch a movie or cook some food or go to a gym or go to a movie or whatever else it is that you may want to do as a leisure way of spending your time. So go focus on what it is that you love to do, whether it's for you personal, for your family, or for your fellow being, for others, to help others, whatever it is that you like to do, try to make money out of that. Then your work will be life, will not be a chore. So that's all I have to say about that for now. I hope that would be something to help you out with your question. Chula says, when will you have a live stream again? Chula, I believe if that's going to be as good as it is tonight, which looks like it's a very good live streaming as far as quality of streaming the voice, I think I may actually, if I get time, I will actually do it maybe every other day or every day for half an hour or maybe for an hour, at least for a while, until that would promote more people to learn about the YouTube and more subscribers come in, and so we'll also be able to help more people and at the same time be able to generate more subscribers and more business out of it as well. So it will work both ways. So but for in the meantime, I think I will try to have this wonderful pleasure and enjoyment of spending time with everybody who needs some advice out there every day, depending how much my time would actually be available, because as you know, again, we have to be generous with our time, but at the same time got to do our responsibilities. And so as I am also busy in other things, I need to have justification of time and economics of it. Once hopefully this endeavor will take off in a big way, then of course I would be more than happy to have it every day or dedicate a lot more time to it than I am now. Olga says, I liked a man, but we never were together. He chose another girl at some point. I don't even like him anymore, but somehow think about how he is, what he's up to. What's with that weird fixation? Well, because you don't have another one right now to focus on. So the first thing that you think about your boyfriend or your possible boyfriend or a candidate is the last person that you had an experience with, because that is what's available in your memory and it's a point of reference. But if you get to know other people that you become friend with and exchange time and energy with, and you will have different kinds of possibilities and memories about other people in your mind, then you will not be so fixed on this one, because this one was a person that you liked and he went for another girl. So you're kind of rejected in a way in your mind. And when you are rejected somehow, in some way, by someone, you think that person was better than you because he didn't want you, but you wanted him. Or he wasn't as interested in you as much as you were interested in him. And the fact that you wanted to go forward, but he didn't, it makes you feel as if he was better than you. And that's the feeling that you're chasing. You're trying to prove to yourself that by conquering or by getting that guy, then you are as good and he is not better than you, or you feel like you got something that was better than you. But he wasn't better than you. He is not better than you. You just bought into the idea that he's better than you because he rejected you, or somehow it didn't work out the way you wanted it to work out. It's all in your head. There is nothing about the guy that you should even think. The guy had his chance. You got to think this way. He lost his chance. He lost his chance. He can't have another chance. Go out there and focus on who's qualified and become friend with them. Keep yourself higher in your mind that you're keeping it now in comparison when you remember about this kind of interaction with this guy, and then you will be free from thinking that you have to be chasing or be fixed on this guy because you still think he was better than you or he was an opportunity. Instead, you should think that he wasn't smart enough to take the chance and the opportunity he had to get to know you. And if you think that way, you will see he wasn't that smart. And if he wasn't that smart, why should you even be caring about thinking of him as a good candidate? Well, go and find someone that is suitable to your needs and now. And that whatever you think is no longer exist. Shouldn't even be in your memory. You should hold yourself much higher than the people that reject you. Anybody who rejects you or a relationship that doesn't work for you, without you instigating it, that the other side instigate, you should be convinced 100% that you are far better than that person, because that person is not smart enough to be able to see the quality in you. And if someone can't see the quality in you and can't actually be interested to get to know you better and dedicate more time and energy, that means that person is surely not qualified for you to pursue them or to allow them to actually try to have a chance with you, because they already proved that they're not wise enough, smart enough to see the quality that you see in yourself. Change the game around. It's all your mind. Don't let your mind fool you and make you believe things that is not actually accurate. Now, Marielos says, I was recently in Canada. Oh, really? And I really wanted to meet you. Oh, but you were so far away. I see. Hopefully one day. You are great. Thank you. Okay, good. Where in Canada were you? You must have been in the East Coast. I'm in the West Coast. Behaskar. Thank you so much, Mehran. That was very helpful. Good. Chula says, will you have a book signing anytime soon? Chula, are you in Vancouver? I had a book signing in Indigo just a few months ago here in West Vancouver, as the books are sold there, but they're also sold on my own site. And of course, I sign every book that I sell with a little note for the person who purchases it, and it's shipped, and the shipping is included in the price of the physical books. But I suggest to you just purchase the ebooks that are very quick and very cheap. However, if you're in town, that's a different story. But are you? Olga says, that's what I talked about in the beginning, about loving what you're doing in life. You're happy, Mehran. Thank you. It's hard to understand those things sometimes, to find that you're passionate about. Yes, true. And Olga says, thank you very much for the answer. My pleasure, Olga. My pleasure. I'm glad that it was helpful to you. Chula says, no, I'm in New Jersey, but will travel to meet you and sign my book. Okay, by all means, when you get here, just comment, send a comment on YouTube, and we'll meet somewhere for a tea, and I will either take you to Indigo or bring a book for you. Or you can simply, when you come, bring the book with you. However it's convenient for you, then I'll sign it for you. Let's see. Marielos says, I was in Barrie, Ontario, and went to Montreal. Oh, if you have time, how do you align with the truth? Thanks. You don't have to align with the truth. You have to observe the truth. The truth is there. You just be aware of it. Notice it. Focus on it. And don't be reacting to what images come in the form of truth and try to manipulate and take you off course from your focus on the truth. Truth is one. There is no other thing but the truth. So when you're wise and you're focused and aware of how things are and find the truth, then there is no reason to align yourself. Just pay full attention to the now, to what you're doing, to present of life, and the truth is always happening at the presence of life, in the moment. If you focus on that moment, you will see it as it's happening, then you are seeing the truth. But if you later on you hear about it from this or that and so on, well, that's going to be a little bit tough to sort it out. So focus, be patient, be aware, and live in the moment to see things as they're happening, because the truth is happening in the moment. And if you're in the moment as well, you will always see things, the truth of the things, as they're happening, rather than later on kind of try to find what it was that happened. Now, that is a general response to that, because your question is rather general. It's not specific. If you tell me about what and so on, a scenario, then we can have a different discussion, I think. Now, guys, it has been now over 1 hour and 22 minutes. And proudly, I like to think that we have solved the problem of lagging and all that. If you guys quickly comment and tell me what your experience has been with this live stream as far as interruptions, lagging, buffering, and all that, then I will be actually getting my feedback from you, and we will be saying good night to each other, and I'll go to the gym and do some exercise, which you all have to do some exercise in your own fitness level, as it is very necessary for us all. So I wait for a couple of minutes to get all those response or comments about the quality of the live stream, and looks like that we'll be able to have that every other day or every day for a short time at least, without the headaches that we used to have. And hopefully then Excalibur does not have to pull his hair out that much. Aha. Okay, Olga. Good. Good. So let me know your comment, guys, so we can all say good night, because I think we caught up with everybody's question. Chula says, what's the name of the bookstore? You said the bookstore is called Indigo, and the one that is presently carrying it is in Vancouver. So best thing to do is to go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and click on any of the books that you see there. The table of content opens up, and if you click on the book itself, the book opens up and you'll have a sample chapter to read. And every book has a little video, 2-minute video beside it, that I will be explaining what the book is all about a little bit, and then you click on it, see the table of contents, what chapters are covered, and then the book itself, you can click on it and pages change and lets you read a sample chapter. There's also one video on the site mindthatseekstruth.com where it says the end of fear. That's a seminar that I did in one of the local universities. I think it was last year or a year before, and it's a very unique way of understanding what fear is and how to end the fear, and you may enjoy it. It used to, I think it's like $8.50 for the video to get the link, or you can go and see on my channel if the video is already opened and if it's open for public or not, because I don't remember, but it's on the site that you can get that link as well. It's a very interesting, about 45-50 minute video. It's a very unique way of putting thought and fear and its relationship together, and I think you will enjoy it. And there's some things in there that probably it kind of freaks you out in a way. Not freaks you out in a bad way, in a good way, that you might not have noticed or knew about it, which the exercise that we did. So I think it would be worth taking a look at it. Now, there's 12 minutes of that, or 5 minutes of that on the site of that video that is free for you to take a look as well. I think it's not on the site, it's on the YouTube. The 12 minutes of that whole 50 minutes is free of charge. Maybe the whole video is free of charge. I don't know what I did. So, having said that, let's see what else we have here. Mariello says, thank you. Just please, if you could, please tell me your live schedule in Facebook so I may join. Okay, if you already have joined my Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth, Author, or Books, both of them are my pages, Mind That Seeks Truth Author and Mind That Seeks Truth Books. I will post it, but the thing is, I really don't know what time of day I'll get the chance to do it. I may find the time and then slot and just open it up. So that is possible. And also, if I really know, I will also put a post on Facebook so you will know when to expect it. Otherwise, there could be many unexpected live streams that come on until we get the schedule for me a little bit more balanced and known. My relative says, great, sounds good, thank you, good night. Good night, dear, and good night, Shula, and good night, everybody, and thank you very much for being here with me for a while, and take good care of yourselves and the others, and look forward to talk to you soon again.